Hello, everybody. This is season 4, episode 6. Here I am with some 8th graders today. I haven't had 8th graders in this year. So here we are. The first time I've gotten 8th graders in. We do a lot of podcasting with 8th grade, and then YouTube tends to be like a 7th grade thing. But I got 8th grade, and I'm pretty excited because I want to talk about some things that are going well with these 8th graders, what's working through the screen during our pandemic, and then maybe some thoughts about 2021 going forward. So anyway, everybody say hello, and then I got a first question for you.
Hi.
Thanks for volunteering. All right, Arda, you start, and then we'll go around, kind of like around the circle here, around the square, so to speak. I have a question for all of you about how you're coping through the pandemic. It's been my first question for every student that's been on so far this school year, but what's going well, what isn't? How are you doing physically, mentally, and socially?
So the pandemic has more of an effect on others, which is more affecting me than me myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
But so my family is more relaxed about the pandemic. We probably should be more careful, but we really aren't. Just this evening, I'm going horseback riding. So, I mean, yeah, we're just taking this as like a vacation,
Okay.
kind of, while still being careful in a way.
I mean, isn't it still possible to do those activities while being safe? You know,
Yeah,
you're masking up, you're distancing, right?
yeah.
You're
And
you're not stuck at home, is what you're saying?
yeah, and the neighborhood kids, of course, no one's my age, of course, but I mean, everyone's younger than me, and they all come out, play. They always bring their bikes, and
Sure.
we live in a pretty small neighborhood. It's literally a loop where if you just make a D shape, you'll be back to your same spot. And everyone just comes around, rolls around. Everyone's just really chill about COVID in like our neighborhood.
Interesting. But it sounds like you're still being safe at the same time. So you're able to see each other and ride some bikes, play outside. I wonder how that's going to go now that the weather's going to turn pretty cold and stuff. Maybe you'll just do some snow activities instead, you know?
Yeah, last year we made this giant snow fort and ate chicken nuggets.
Nice. All right, same question to Vershank. How you doing?
I think this pandemic has brought probably a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah.
It's been like just go with the flow kind of. So when it originally started with school, they said it was going to be an extended spring break. Everyone was like, "Oh, that sounds amazing." And then when it started to go on and on without like any impending end, people started to freak out. And at one point, it just became mind-numbing, the same thing to do over and over again. But I think I've been doing pretty well with this. Obviously, I can't go out right now. It's pretty cold.
Yeah.
But before, me and my brother just used to play in our backyard. We still take like the safety precautions and stuff. But my main thing to do in the pandemic is kind of like focus on extracurricular activities and hobbies kind of things. So it's not the same thing every day. Even though I'm focusing on the same activities, it's like I can vary within a certain circle. And it's interesting to try new things in this pandemic. It opens an opportunity to like do things that you never had the time for before. So it's
Yeah, sure. Fun. Yeah, that makes total sense. It makes total sense. All right, Aiden, you jump in there. How's it going so far? Because you're new to our school this school year.
Yeah.
So go ahead and talk through any of those thoughts, starting up on the screen through the pandemic.
Well, the pandemic has been kind of a roller coaster for me.
Yeah.
When it first started, I was really excited because I'm kind of introverted, so I was glad to, be able to do school from home.
Mm-hmm.
But then I don't know if I got sick or if I was just like not feeling well mentally, but I spent like 2 weeks in bed and felt really awful, and I just had work through some stuff, and that just led to a lot of stuff happening. But someone left.
Oh, looks like, yeah, we'll get Vershank back in. It's happened before. This is how it works. Somebody gets bumped, Wi-Fi drops for whatever reason. So no problem at all. I'll get him back in here in just a moment.
We should try live streaming this one day and see how many people leave.
But anyway, yeah, he'll come back in. So yeah, you were saying you found yourself kind of having, it sounds like everybody's got some ups and downs,
Yeah, I went through a lot of really serious emotional stuff, but I'm better now.
Yeah.
I'm better, but I'm not cured because
I get it. Totally get it. That's how this works. We've got, no matter who, we've got emotional ups and downs, and especially 2020. This is the last month of 2020. Somehow we've made it this far. I don't know if some of you watchers, listeners out there are going through the same thing, but we've been remote learning for the entire school year. So this is the only way that I've seen my students, and this is the way that you've seen your teachers too, So what is working? Here's Vershank. Great. We're getting him back in. I'm going to repeat the question here as we get Vershank back on. Hey, bud, welcome back.
We just talk about something random.
Quite unfortunate. Problems of Zoom.
This is the issue of, we have this, I was just mentioning, we're through the screen. So that's how it works now. I get students that drop in, drop out. It's not like they're trying to be tardy. They're not, it's not like they're ditching class. That's just a reality. One time, more than once, I think it's now been 2, my internet went out completely. The whole school internet went out and it dropped, and I could not get back in for hours. Maybe you remember some of those days. Mm-hmm. So even teachers have those tech issues. But I want to focus on some of the positive instead. So thinking about going through the screen, having school remotely from home, what seems to be working? What are some teachers doing or projects or group work or apps that work well? Can you talk to us about any of those positives that you've noticed? Go ahead, Arda.
For Fun Fridays or whatever they call it, whatever you want to call it, but Fridays, we get fun days sometimes, rarely. But a fun app that has been working well that I haven't gotten to play yet because my phone has always been somewhere else when I needed this app is Among Us, which is fun because our class, this is the first time that me and probably a lot of other people are playing Among Us on Zoom.
During school?
Well, yes, but during Fun Fridays and stuff, our teacher just started allowing us to do that. We had to talk her into it a little, but yeah.
But it's been something fun that you've done socially that isn't specifically rigorous with schoolwork and content.
Yeah.
And yeah, my family loves that game too. I've got some middle schoolers. I've got 4 kids of my own, and so they do like Among Us. I know that's been a huge video game lately, but that's interesting that you've gotten to do that during some downtime during school. Is there anything? Oh, you know what? We should probably mention. Look at your background. I mean, that's one thing that you're allowed to do.
Well, not really.
I let it happen.
Well, I'm not. The school doesn't really want it happening, but I'm on a different computer, so it would be blocked on another computer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just uploading backgrounds literally
I don't think your Chromebooks let it. Well, there might be a bypass around it. I'm not saying students should do this because it could be distracting, I suppose.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't really take away from what's going on with the lesson, which I don't find it to be that distracting right now, then I don't really mind it at all. I suppose same thing with downtime, So you're playing Among Us. Should we talk about any specific projects or content or classes that are specifically pretty well done right now through the screen, or have cool little group work that you're doing in the breakout rooms, Vershank? Anything like that?
Yeah, no, pretty much all classes for me have gone pretty well. Mm-hmm. All the teachers have found pretty interesting ways to engage the students. And there's even though it's a bit more difficult to do in Zoom, the group projects haven't really stopped. I would actually say they've increased. It was harder at the beginning of the year because most students had their videos and audios off. So if you were in a breakout room with like 3 or 4 people like that, it's really hard to participate. But people also participate in the chat a lot, so it's been pretty good. For example, I have manufacturing and tech with Miss Zimmerman, and we were doing like a breakout room today, which was pretty interesting. And with the breakout room, we were doing like an escape room kind of thing. So it's still pretty interesting to collaborate with people in group projects, even though it's a bit harder.
Yeah, I noticed it takes, I've said this in multiple, I think I've said this every week that I've done these videos, but I've noticed it takes extra time. So everything takes it just takes we have to be patient, I suppose, but it's taking double the amount of time, instead of just being able to kind of go rapid fire back and forth in conversations, it's almost like you've got to type it out or unmute. So as long as we're patient and not feeling in that rush, I totally agree. I think some of this stuff is working. I don't prefer it. I don't know about you. I don't prefer it, but I think some parts could stick around even after we get through remote learning, Aiden, same question. I know you said that you don't mind it being a little bit more introverted, but are there some things that you notice are going well in some of your classes?
A lot of the teachers are really nice and just generally laid back people, which is nice.
That helps, huh?
At my old school, a lot of my teachers were really uptight and just not very good at teaching.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is there anything particular that you've noticed or you would say to teachers watching that they should try and replicate or repeat without going overboard? Because maybe you notice if something is a big hit, sometimes we use it too much. Flipgrid was that way with my students. I started that a few years ago, and it was like one of the only times they would get on. It was the only classes was health class. And then all of a sudden it got used almost too much, just as an example, So is there something that you think we could do as teachers a little bit better or even stay away from so that we don't overuse? Anything like that, Aiden? Or opened up to Arda and Vershank too. Same question.
I'm not really sure if teachers would be open to doing this, but I always like it when the teachers post the assignments before class, because then I get extra time to work on it.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Oftentimes I don't do that on purpose because students will start early and then they have questions anyway. So without an explanation, it might not make sense, but that's something that we absolutely can consider, getting you the content early,
Yeah, my friend, she has this, she's doing e-learning as well, except she lives in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like a family friend. And instead of doing Zoom meetings every day, she has just this one whole I didn't freeze up. My brain froze.
Oh, we all have those moments. Wait, Art, are you frozen? No, just your brain.
One just big chunk of stuff that she has to get done before December. Okay. Or whatever the deadline is, and she just has to finish it by then. Mm-hmm. And if she doesn't I don't know what happens. But I just think that's a good way to do it, where you have this just chunk of stuff that you have to do by time end of class, and whatever you don't get done is homework. You have your homework to do it during class, and then that just feeds into homework. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know if this helps, but maybe you've noticed, I've tried to, as much as we can, get off the screen. If we can get off the screen a little early, I'm getting students away from the screen, giving them an early lunch or just a quick break, or extra time to finish up some missing work, even other classwork. I feel like having that grace, that leniency is pretty big.
And I think that respect kind of goes a long way. You know, I'm finding out that, well, it can also backfire, I suppose, because then I have students asking if we're done yet, you know, and so on my longer lessons, I think that I'm losing some of the attention span. But I don't know if you find that with some of your other teachers, they're being kind enough to get you away instead of using the entire, what do we have, 70 minutes, you know. It's a lot different than when we're actually in the classroom.
Yeah.
So can I ask you this? Can we look ahead just a bit? And we'll finish with this thought, but let's look ahead towards 2021. Let's just talk in general terms if you want, or specifically, what do you think is going to be possible? What do you hope is possible? Do you have anything that you're looking forward to after winter break? You know, so in another week or so, we're going to be off for a little bit. As if, you know, you need time home. It's not like you're like, time away from school, because you're kind of in the same setting. But just talk through, in general, are there any things coming up that you are looking forward to or you're hopeful for, whether it's in school or outside of school? Who's first?
I'll go, I guess. In school, this is like a weird thing to look forward to, but in third quarter, I feel like a bunch of people, their attention starts to drop because after the winter break, they feel like school seems like it's a giant gap between the Friday before winter break and the Monday you come back to school, and people aren't in the school routine. I just want to make sure I don't drop any attention in my classes. And another interesting thing is that as eighth graders, after this third and fourth quarter finishes, you have summer, and right after that you have high school, which is a whole new experience.
Yeah, so you're just already looking on the horizon to high school, right? Yeah, that happens. I hear that from eighth grade all the time. We're going to get to do a pretty cool project looking ahead into the future. I call it basically mental health time travel in eighth grade. So we'll do some mental health work. We'll look at the past a little bit. We'll look at the present, being just mindful of the present moment. And then we do get to look ahead all the way to the end of your high school years with a project that I do each and every year with eighth graders, looking ahead to high school. Because I know that's on your brain, you know? We don't want to rush eighth grade because you're right where you need to be right now. But I hear you, Vershank. That's definitely in the back of your mind, right? Anything else going on that you're looking forward to in or outside of school, Aiden or Arda?
Is that the time capsules that we're going to use in that lesson?
Oh, yeah, what I was talking about? It is. Yep.
Okay, well, instead of going forward, how about we go backwards to 1980s? I found this.
I do that. Did you know I already do that?
Yeah.
No,
But,
you didn't know I do that?
No.
Oh, yeah, we do.
But there's this guy on YouTube. I mean, Mr. Tottenham has tens of views. This guy has 1.16 million views.
Whoa.
I mean, subscribers.
Whoa.
But, his name is Zuru, I think. And this is his video name. But what happens is he just has great, videos to brighten your day every day. And this one caption, this one picture / video, it says, in the 1980s, they thought that there would be flying cars in 2020. and then in the next scene, it has two guys on a FaceTime call or whatever arguing. And then it says, but turns out in 2020, it has the first online physical fight. And then they start just whacking their phones with a shoe or something. It's hilarious to watch. And he just has so many good videos.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, so Arda, we do get to do some of that. So we're going to look in the past. We're going to look ahead. And then, maybe in 2021, I have tens of viewers at this point, as you put it, tens and tens of subscribers. So is there anything coming up in your personal life that you are wishful for, hopeful for, or you see happening next year? Arda, before I move on to Aiden.
Oh, I thought you were asking someone else.
Because you talked about the past a little bit, or you talked about a pretty cool YouTube channel. But what's going on in 2021 that you're looking forward to?
Probably this darn COVID being over. but most likely that's not going to happen.
But we can still be, I suppose, hopeful.
Yeah,
Just
hopeful.
interested in where things go, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, Aiden, go ahead. You got anything for us looking ahead to 2021?
I mean,
Maybe not. Maybe maybe that question's too difficult.
I do have something that I'm excited for. I'm really interested in film and stuff. And this year there haven't really been many films or stuff like that. But then next year, I'm assuming they'll probably be able to finish up anything that that was supposed to come out this year, and hopefully we get good stuff next year.
Sure.
Like movies?
Yeah. Wait. What?
Like movies or like making videos?
Movies.
What's your favorite movie?
Yeah, I was going to ask that. What have you been? Are there any shows that are big right now with teenagers?
I mean, my two favorite movies, they're probably tied, are Knives Out and Jojo Rabbit. They're both really great.
I've seen both. My whole family likes Jojo Rabbit as well. Yeah. And then also, do you see some of those other movies from the same director that have been done? Yeah. What's the one? What's it called? The Wildebeest? Is that one of them? I forget the name of I'm blanking off the top of my head, but same director. There was a couple other good movies out there, but you're right. Maybe the studios are going to finish up some of that stuff, get actual movies in the theater again. Although it's kind of been interesting where things are released through the screen. So I know it's cost a little bit of extra, but I know some studios, some places have done full length movies. I hear Pixar is coming out with their new one, I think, to be released this week or next.
Yeah,
I'm a big Pixar fan. So.
We shouldn't be too ungrateful for the films we've gotten this year, though, such as Mulan reboot and Trolls 2.
Yeah.
Amazing movie.
Great.
I'm sensing the sarcasm. I hear the sarcasm. I hear you. All right. We've taken enough of your time. We're gonna go ahead and say goodbye. Oh, I suppose I should say what I'm looking forward to is more videos like this in 2021. I think we're making it work. Usually I like being right next to each other. I mean, Artie, you've done this with me before. We're right in the classroom. It was usually pretty cool. But we're gonna make it work through the screen. So I guess that's what I'm looking forward to, is somehow continuing to connect with students. All right. So anyway, that's it for this week. I want to thank our 3 8th graders for jumping on, talking about everything from COVID to Zoom and online learning to the amazing releases of 2020 for movies and beyond. All right, everybody. Thanks as always for watching. We'll see you next time. Say bye.
Bye.
Ah.